All right, so I'm Stevie Wild. This is round one. The date is April 5th, and we just have the challenge results revealed from the first challenge, is where we're at. Okay, so I'll kind of go from the start of the game. I'm here, I'm playing Ascendants. I'm so happy. I've been watching this game for a while, so I'm really excited to dig my teeth into it and learn this game. One thing that's been kind of interesting playing this game compared to playing other games is like when I'm playing a Big Brother or Survivor game, I know those games inside out. Every time anything happens, I have a plan A, B, C. But with Ascendants, it's a little new for me. So I feel like I'm a pioneer and I don't really know what I'm doing. So I have to adapt and kind of figure it out. And that's kind of a new fun element I've been exploring. So that's been interesting. It's definitely a complicated game. My first impression of the cast was, I don't know, just being overwhelmed. Like, it's always hard to meet so many people. Almost everybody is new to me. It looks like a fun crew, and it should be a fun game. We'll lift each other's spirits while the world is feeling pretty depressed right now. Um, so at the start of the game, we had to make a vote in the first 5 minutes, which that's a lot of pressure when you don't even know everybody's name yet. So in my gut, I kind of felt like it probably was going to be a good thing, but I didn't feel confident enough that I would volunteer. It did cross my mind, but when you only have 5 minutes, you don't really have a lot of time to think. So I just thought, hey, why don't I get somebody else to volunteer instead? Um, so I asked if anyone wanted to volunteer, and Jordan volunteered, and he ended up getting 9 votes, which worked out, and it turned out to be a good thing. However, I got the second most votes, 3 votes, I think it was, and I did not volunteer to receive votes. So I was pretty surprised. I don't know what it is about me that made people want to vote for me. It could be that, I don't know, I was kind of loud on camera. I don't know, I was drinking, which maybe that looked kind of sloppy. Maybe I need to keep it a little classier. I also did say out loud that I thought that it was probably going to be a good thing. So maybe me saying that made people be like, oh, well, I'll just vote for him or whatever. So anyway, but it worked out for me because I'm safe, which gives me a little bit more flexibility this round. I could be like really quiet and not really care about the vote too much, or I could be really pushy because I don't have to worry about myself being in danger. So I'm definitely happy to be safe for this first round. Bonus. Um, as far as people go, who I'm feeling pretty good about is Jordan. He reached out to me right away and talked to me quite a bit. And then we had a really long call last night where we really got to know each other and we built a relationship. I was a little hesitant at first because I just know that he's been involved in the org community for a really long time. So I would think that he probably has a number of friends already in the game. So I was a little hesitant, but after he spent over an hour talking to me and telling me some really personal things, I definitely think that he's serious about working with me. So I'm looking forward to exploring that further. And I just found out that Jordan gets to vote with me on this first vote, so that should help us start working together and see how each other plays. Um, Another player I have an opinion on is Austin. It's kind of funny that Austin is in this game because the past few months I've been watching Survivor BC, which is like a Canadian live Survivor game, and Austin was on it. So I actually saw quite a bit about Austin and what people in that game thought about him and how he played. And he seems to be like a really good player and a player who is really serious about the game and really wants to kind of manipulate and control everything. However, even though I know quite a bit about Austin, I didn't tell him that I watched his season or that I'm familiar with him because I feel that in in my mind it seems like, oh, I know you, like I'm gonna tell you this, like, and we'll connect. But for the other person, it actually comes off as kind of creepy or weird when you like know all about them but they don't know anything about you. So I kept it a secret that I know who he is, and I do perceive Austin as one of the bigger threats in the game. So I figured that I either have to get him solidly on my side as someone that can protect me and work with me, or I need to get him out pretty quick. So I did just have a call with him today, and Austin asked me to work with him. So I'm gonna try exploring that road and see how it goes, but it's definitely gonna take more time to actually build trust because I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of says that to everybody and tries to get in good with everybody and control everything. So we'll see how that goes. Other people I have an opinion on. I know Ryan and Kayla from a previous game, and I ended on good terms with them. So right away, I felt like those are 2 people I can probably count on. So that's a bonus because usually I don't know anybody in games. So it's kind of nice to have that for once. Um, and then when I got picked to be the party planner and I had to choose my team, The strategy I used was I pretty much just knew that Kayla tends to be a early target in any game that she plays, unfortunately, just because I don't know, she's just kind of an easy target. So I thought if I put Kayla on my team and I put Ryan on my team, that's going to be a voting block of 3, and hopefully we can get Kayla through the round. So the round is just starting, and I'm just starting to talk to people and figure out what we're going to do. So I'm going to see if I can get Kayla through this round. I just don't want to ruin my own game over it. So we'll see if it's doable or not. Okay, I think that's my rant.
All right, Stevie. Yeah, actually, I answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask you, but I still have a couple that we want to ask basically pretty much every round, just so you can keep tabs on where you were thinking and whatnot if you look back at these, see how right you were, how wrong you were. So the first one, you kind of touched on this a little bit when you were talking about your opinions on people, but who would you say at this moment, I know it's pretty early, you trust the most in the game?
Probably who I trust the most is Kayla. Um, that being said, I can't necessarily control Kayla. She sometimes has her own opinions and she does her own thing, but I trust her the most. I don't think that she would ever go after me whatsoever. And then, yeah, next to Kayla, who I'm building trust with is probably Ryan and Jordan would be the next in line.
Okay. And then on the opposite spectrum, who would you say that you trust the least?
Who I trust the least would be, I have to double check his name. I think his name is Jack. Sorry, 1 second. It's a lot of people. Yeah, yeah. I've talked to Jack twice, and both times it ended up being an awkward experience. I mean, he's a young guy. If orgs are new for him, I'm not sure. Like, usually that's the kind of person I root for. But I had 2 conversations with him, and both of them went bad. The first one was before that initial vote for the party planners at the start of the game. I was just trying to message a few people to kind of start building working relationships. So I just kind of clicked whoever was handy, and he was one of them. And I was like, what do you think we should do with the vote? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to pull a name out of the air. How about you? And I was like, well, I think I'll vote the person that volunteered because that seems like the easy thing to do. And he's like, I think that's a good idea. So it all is good and all. But then after the vote, he's like, guess what? I voted for you. And I was like, okay, like, why? And he said, like, he seemed like I could handle the power or something, which I just thought was a really weird response. So basically, in the first 5 minutes of the game, he already lied to me about his vote. Like, he should have just been honest about it, or like just the way he went about it was really deceptive. And then to tell me right after the vote that actually you were lying to me and you did vote for me, like it just didn't really go over well. Maybe he thought because it turned out to be a good thing that I'd be happy that he voted for me, but no, I'm not really happy about it. So that was a negative experience with him. And then the second time I tried talking to him, give him another chance, one of the first things he said is he's like, well, I heard that you were isolated from your team. And I was kind of surprised he heard that because I just like lightly said to 1 or 2 people, like, oh, like I'm not even in my team's group chat, just because I didn't really know that I'm not supposed to be in the chat. But anyway, like it wasn't a serious thing, but I guess people must have been talking about it. And so yeah, he says like, oh, I heard that you feel isolated from your team. And I was like, oh, like how'd you hear that? And then he like stopped responding to me. So just the fact that he didn't respond seemed kind of shady. Like he couldn't come up with any answer, or maybe he didn't want to say who told him that. But this is something that is really frivolous. It really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. And the fact that he can't be honest with me even about that, again, left me with another negative impression about him. So I ended up eventually I responded to the message and kind of brushed it off because I didn't want him feeling super awkward with me or that like things are really bad, but I definitely feel bad about him right now.
All right. So you kind of touched on your strategy when you were picking your squads for when you got elected party planner. Now that you kind of see how the format is going, there's going to be party planner. That person is picking squads, right? How does that factor into whether you are going to be like, is party planner something that you want to continually go for? Is that something you don't want to continually go for?
I think I will go for party planner because I like doing the challenges. I just think they're fun and I like winning. It feels good. And if you get the power, then you're safe. Obviously, I don't want to win every single one because then you're going to come off as a threat. But yeah, I'm definitely not going to be throwing the challenges. I'm going to try to win some more. The strategy of picking the teams is really complicated. It's something I'm still trying to wrap my head around. So I need to kind of figure out what it actually would do with the power. But I like that you're automatically safe.
Alrighty, and then another question that we're going to ask pretty much every confessional, every round. Other than yourself, so you can't answer this question, but with yourself, who do you think is playing the best game right now?
It's so early that it's really hard to tell who's playing the best game, but I just know that Austin is a good player, so I imagine he's playing a good game. And I think that Corey, I haven't seen the game that she's playing, but I think she's just really lovable and sweet, and I definitely can see her as being a threat. So those are two people that I have my eye on. And I also think that Jordan is playing a good game, but because he told me that he's basically talked to everyone already, which just shows the amount of effort that he's putting in, because there's quite a few people right now. So I see them as standout players right now.
Alrighty, Stevie, that's all the questions that I have for you. If you have anything else that you'd like to add, you can go ahead and add it. If not, I'll go ahead and stop the recording for you.
All good. Thanks for your time, dude. Appreciate it.